Ladies and gentlemen, today we have another feminist that has figured me out. I am just kidding. By this thumbnail and this description that I'm about to read you, it is already apparent that most feminists don't really understand what they're talking about. The description of her video says, well, this was interesting. Woe is me seems to be the story of every MRA's life. I, however, try to give Roma Army some grace to see if we can, I think that was supposed to say make, some progress with the misaligned men's rights movement. I, as a woman, am misaligned because I'm like more men's rights because it makes more sense? Or are you saying that the men's rights movement is misaligned because absolutely everybody thinks that we're radical, including you at the end there? Stay radical. I guess we'll see where we're sitting at. Gotta put my smoke glasses on because I'm about to give him the smoke. Oh my God, I did not plug in my microphone. Okay, so now that my microphone is plugged in, let's dive right into this. First of all,
MRA and society hates me for it. So let's see what she has to say. Let's see her examples of hatred. And let's see if we can send some constructive thoughts her way. And also some love. I'm in that kind of mood today.
Oh, good.
Let's go. Alright, let's get into it. Woo.
Hi, my name's Chloe Roma, and I've spent the last year building my name on social media as a men's rights advocate. I'm here today to share with you everything the society has done in the last year and is continuing to do to try to prevent me from advocating for men.
Right off the bat, she already has absolutely no ability to have an articulate, cohesive debate because she thinks that she's funny with these little zoom-ins and her sipping her water. Because all it's really giving is, I've made my mind up about her. That's okay, lady. I'll set you straight. Don't worry.
The story is way too long, so I'm going to make this very brief. Although this last year as a men's rights advocate has been absolutely incredible, I've gotten to reach millions and millions of people, and I've got to connect with so many of my fans and hear their personal stories. It has also caused a living hell and turmoil in my own personal life.
Okay.
Because I am a men's rights advocate, I am probably the most censored advocate on social media. I have lost a
guess again. I don't think so. I think I can name people who are more censored than you. And this isn't to dismiss your plight.
Something tells me, and I'm blind reacting to this, I have not watched this. Something tells me that she's about to give no examples.
But, everyone wants to play superlatives and hyperbole, I don't know. Everyone wants to be the most oppressed. And it's not a competition. You know how I feel. I'm not for the oppression Olympics. But I think there are more people that are more silenced than men's rights advocates. I think you're one of the lesser silenced people. But for being seen as a fringe group, there's people more silenced than you that are saying way less out of order stuff than you.
The thing that is increasingly more shitty about that is not the fact that it's like, oh, my accounts and my clout and blah, blah, blah. How much society thinks that men's issues are non-existent, irrelevant, radical. It is an insult from society that I, as a woman, I have a vagina, I, as a woman, sit here and use my platform to say things that any fucking man should be able to say, that many men do say, have said, before I was even born. But it takes me, as a woman, here, using my female privilege, to say things that men are already saying and just getting called sexist, misogynists for it.
But it's not a competition. It's not a competition.
A total of 9 TikTok accounts, 2 Instagram accounts, and I've been permanently banned from Facebook.
Okay, she has this 9 TikToks, 9 TikToks, 2 Instagram. It's not a competition. Okay, fair enough. Take the medal because we don't want it. But trust me, there's people way more that are losing way more. Just trust me, bro. Just take my word for it.
Oh my God, I shouldn't even continue this. A lot of feminists, when I give actual statistics, they always come with the literal, trust me, bro. Just trust me. The evidence is out there. I'm not going to present it, but trust me.
Very determined women from across Canada and the US.
Can we turn the volume up? And we are going to speed her up slightly. Okay, so it's women, specifically women across Canada and the US that's going out of their way to silence Mrs. Roma here. She said this stuff. I just want to see receipts.
Spent their year creating false allegations about me, false narratives, attempting to get my child taken away and put it into social services, as well as releasing my address to the public and giving them step-by-step instructions on how to get here, knowing that I live...
Why did she look so happy when I said that they started targeting my children? Damn, like, why does that make you so happy?
Knowing that I live in the same city as the father of my kid, who tried to kill me with a metal baton nearing 3 years ago. The allegations
Okay.
What the fuck is the matter? You're a feminist. You're supposed to be all for, like, anti-violence against women. You think it's funny when other feminists target a men's rights advocate and refuses to see her as a human being, a mother, somebody who lives to protect their children. Modern day feminists.
That's not funny. Not funny. But I'm laughing because it's this thing that anti-feminists always do, where they will put something a man's done that is this horrible next to some stuff some women's done that's like, I'm not saying it's not bad. I'm still waiting on receipt. A man tried to kill you. Some women banned your account, and they will go straight to the women and be like, these women are evil.
You're not even listening. You're not understanding what I'm saying. Literally a group of women gave my address to him. Ugh.
They'll be like, feminists, yeah, they have hair colors that we don't like, and sometimes they're too loud, and that's a big ass issue, and that needs to stop. And man, yeah, they start wars and they kill people. Who cares? Like they have a double standard. It's just something I noticed. But let's continue. I'm really trying to empathize.
For my own sanity, I'm gonna stop that video. I will link it below because something tells me that I will fuck up, act out of character, and say something that I'm not supposed to. Okay? Whew. Deep breath, Chloe. Deep breath. It's not your fault that feminists lack brain cells. It's okay. Whew. Feminists, you guys no longer have a leg to stand on. You guys are all about smash the patriarchy, and that's why men's rights advocates are so radical. I hate to break this to you, but the patriarchy has actually been smashed. Would you like some proof? So let's look at the question. When exactly was patriarchy smashed? Feminists always ask this question in a very condescending way, as if they get to decide when equality has happened, because it would seem to me like being able to judge the boundaries of equality, that in itself is very much a privilege. If I may so kindly point your attention to this percentage of college degrees received by gender, historically women were underrepresented in education. In 1972, legislation was passed to correct this, and guess what? Smashing achieved in 1981 as women increasingly started surpassing men. And would you look at that? As of 2020, 61% of women surpassed 39% of men. What about women's health, as that was similarly neglected, so the American government formed 4 designated offices to fix these imbalances? Patriarchy smashed. And would you look at that? U.S. Congress, 2021. Men over the past decade have shown poorer health outcomes than women across all racial and ethnic groups, as well as socioeconomic status. And of course, no patriarchy conversation would be completed without the talk of pay gap, right? Did you know that in America, Asian men and Asian women are both paid more than white men? Are we smashing that? Or just for white men? But even if we break down the word patriarchy, it really doesn't make any sense, does it? Because it literally translates to the rule of father. I must ask, what rule of father doesn't get automatic rights to their children? How is the father the ruler when he gets absolutely no say in when he has children? He has no form of birth control except for a fucking condom. I mean, what kind of ruler gets depicted in society's TV shows, sitcoms, and movies as the dumb one? Feminists, you guys spend way too much time comparing the majority of men to the top 1%. The 1% that you guys are supposed to hate so much, that's kind of funny how that's your dating standard. So what part of the patriarchy are you smashing? Your husband that pays for all your stuff? Sure, 87% of all US billionaires are men. But remember how I said that choosing how we measure equality is a privilege of its own? Sure, there are far more billionaire men than there are billionaire women, but trying to compare the two sexes when it comes to who's a billionaire is like comparing 2 grains of rice, because the reality is most people, if not the majority, big fat portion of them, just don't live like that. Being able to measure what is equal and what isn't is a privilege when women feel like an overpopulation of men in Hollywood is severely oppressive, but refuse to acknowledge the fact that majority of healthcare professionals, therapists, and psychologists being women, that might negatively affect men. Might be oppressive towards them, considering therapists have openly admitted that they have different views on men's feelings and women's feelings. Men and women have very different needs. We feel things emotionally differently because of the way that society treats us different. But sure, you want to measure equality by this stupid fallacy, so let's do it. In America, there are 639 billionaires that are men. On a graph, that looks like 87% of American billionaires being men. However, over 250,000, that makes 70% of American homeless being of the male gender. Isn't it funny how you find 639 billionaires evidence as oppression, way over the 250,000 men who are experiencing homelessness? Funny how you don't see that as evidence of matriarchy. Selective compassion? I think so. What about the UK? Do you find this to be patriarchal? The fact that the legal definition of RAPE is not classified if you are being forced to penetrate. And there's not just a semantic difference, but sentencing guidelines are wildly different as well, as carries a minimum sentence of 4 years in prison, whereas causing a person to engage in sexual activity without consent carries a minimum sentence of a community order. I'm sorry, patriarchy where? Or what about the modified language that we see in the media whenever it's a female perpetrator of sexual violence? We always see a very significant tone switch, one that significantly implies consent. Did you know that 22% of male victims who were, I'm gonna say, graped for censoring on YouTube purposes, did you know that they were forced to do that by threats of intimidation, breakup, spreading nasty rumors? Down below I have a petition linked, and it's a petition to change the definition of sexual violence to make it more equal, male inclusive. So here's the reality, lady. You can put on your tin hat and yell, "The world is burning and it's men's fault," all you fucking want. But the reality is that I have statistics. You have just trust me, bro. This is the epitome of feminism, ladies and gentlemen. Insult the person, insinuate that the awful things that have happened to them are funny, and then just use trust me, bro as statistics. And I'm the radical one? Before I go, please consider checking out this GoFundMe. I will link it below. It is by my friend who is a really hardworking father. He's doing everything he can to get his daughter to the skating Canadian Nationals. And she's working really, really, really hard. Everything's expensive, and he's working multiple jobs and going to school trying to support her in her dream. So I have donated multiple times. I will donate again, and I will be matching donation. Also, make sure you check out my podcast, Roma's Man Cave. You can find it on any podcast streaming platform. With that being said, I'm going to give myself a cold shower and hope that my fucking brain cells reactivate. Thank you.
Oh, baby, know it be okay. You don't gotta be so, oh, baby.